All right, guys, we're at day seven. Day seven. And day seven is a reflective time. Let's reflect back on our last week, and then let's talk about what's coming for the next 7 days. Last week, decluttering, being out in nature, most importantly, setting our intentions. We're going to go back through all that. Let's get into our motivational quote for today, though. This is by Zig Ziglar. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important what you become by achieving your goals. Again, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. So that has to say, in terms of us setting out intentionally for the next 31 days to be transformative in our own personal lives, there are particular goals and achievements that obviously we want to see manifested. The importance here is what you become after you achieve your goals. Okay. For me, I'll tell you, having gone through similar process, obviously creating this process, that all you have to do is see this work one time. And for you to really be able to cultivate and assume a level of power, creation in your own lives, knowing that you have and you are the operant power in your own life. Many of us don't understand that, therefore we don't believe it, and we are then regulated to circumstances, and we live a very reactionary life. Things happen and we respond. And when you live that way, there's a very stressful and anxious way to live, as opposed to you setting your intention, you setting your plan, you setting daily practices, and engaging actively in your own life and getting the results that you want. That is an empowering place to be. And hopefully, I trust that this is what you will manifest as complete a course like this today. So today, again, we're in a reflection time. We'll focus on reflection, but we're also going to talk about what's ahead. As you reflect on your journey, you'll be prepared for the coming week with clear intentions and goals, because each week, there are new things for us to do. Let's talk about some insights and some progress and some adjustments that we may need. Here's a step-by-step guide. So I'm going to put into the notes a step-by-step guide, just kind of a summary of things that if you haven't done in these last 7 days, make sure these are done before we get on to the next 7 days. We talked about creating a comfortable, quiet space for yourself. So each week you should have a tranquil space. The meditation and mindfulness is very, very key to your success in this program. Choose that tranquil space for yourself. Make sure it's decluttered. Make sure it's a space that you can go into comfortably, in a place that you won't be disturbed, allowing yourself to be able to concentrate fully. Okay? Make sure you have a journal. We've already talked about gratitude journal. Prepare your journal. Take out your journal and dedicate an area there for gratitude. Maybe you want a different journal for your exercise. Maybe you want a different journal for something else. But journaling is a key ingredient in tracking your progress for these next 31 days. You want to see your progress. And also, you want to be able to make notes. You're not going to just instantly retain everything I'm saying. Now, you're going to have access to these sheets, and you can print them out and put them in a folder if you like. You're going to have the worksheets, because I encourage you to do it from that side, because I want you to complete these worksheets. Print them out as many times as you like. But your journaling is going to be very, very key to you processing and understanding the information. Okay? Set the stage. Writing down the date and reflection on the last 7 days, this sets the tone for your contemplation. Okay. So that is to say, within your journal, why don't you reflect on what has taken place for you the last 7 days? How do you feel about this program so far? Do you feel like this is good information? Have you begun the exercises that we told you to do, that I'm telling you to do here? And if so, how do you feel about the exercises? For example, practicing gratitude. What did that make you feel like? If you went in and decluttered a space, are you super grateful that you've done that for yourself because you feel like you're prioritizing yourself? Make some notes on what we've talked about the last 7 days and write down how you feel about the things that we've done. Number one, you can reflect on your intentions. Think back to your intentions. This was day one. Were you able to stay aligned with those so far? Yes or no? Were you able to stay aligned with your intentions so far? If so, celebrate any successes you've achieved. It's important for you to identify and more important, for you to celebrate any success that you've seen. When you incorporate new ideology into your life and you've got intentions and goals set, and you start to see some progress and some actual manifestation from what it is that you set forth to do, identify, celebrate it. And this is going to reinforce all the way to your subconscious that what you're doing is actually worthy of your time, and it will be repeated action. It's why you do what you do now. The next thing, consider challenges and obstacles. Reflect on the last week. What was harder for you? Was there any part of the last week that was harder than the other? Was it hard for you to declutter and actually throw stuff away? Was it hard for you to meditate? Usually, if you've never meditated and people sit down to meditate, they tell me, hey, Kelly, this is pretty hard. I don't like that. Well, keep at it. The only way to become a meditator is to do it, is to keep meditating. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Celebrate your achievements. We already talked about celebrating your accomplishments. Record lessons and the insights. If you have a particular insight as we're going through our coursework, make sure you hit pause and you write it down. If you have a particular question as we're going through the coursework, make sure you hit pause and you write it down. Within the construct of the platform which you purchased this course, you can send me questions. Or if you're over on our podcast side, you decide to join our podcast group, be it on YouTube or on a podcast platform, you can always send me a message. I'd be more than happy to respond to you. But write it down so you don't forget. For next month, for our goals for the next month, shift your focus onto the future. Write down your goals for the next week for the next month, because we've got goals for this month already. Be specific and clear about what you want to achieve. That's a little aggressive, I admit, but it is an indication that I feel confident that this process is going to work for you, so that, when you do get to the next month and the next month, you have a modus operandi now where you can go through each month, set your intentions, set your goals, expect your achievements, and see them manifest into your life. Our daily practices, affirmation of the week, write down a positive affirmation or a mantra for the upcoming week to reinforce your goals and intentions. Now, I give you a motivational quote every day, but you may want to begin to, adopt that same practice and have your own personal mantra, your own personal affirmation for each day. And I'm going to give you a worksheet here. It says reflection worksheet. Review of your goals of the week, your main focus of the week, weekly reflection, week 2, week 3, etc. So you can just kind of go through that. You can use it as a checklist to track your daily practices and the activities for week 1. We've got gratitude on there. Why don't you list 3 things that you're grateful for? We're going through that again. Morning meditation. Describe what that experience is like. I'm particularly interested to know about that because it's usually one of the more difficult parts for people, because if you've never meditated, it usually is difficult the first few times. But again, I'm going to say don't give up on it. Continue to do it. Don't try to be down there 30, 40 minutes and don't engage with your thoughts. Try with 5 minutes and 10 minutes, 15 minutes, smaller periods of time. And so, it can be more effective. We talked about having some physical activity. What did you decide, by the way, is your physical activity for today? I'm a yoga person. If yours is not yoga, what are you doing? Are you biking? Are you walking? Journaling. Note taking. Any insightful thoughts from your journaling? Look back through the last 7 days at day 1. Where were you then? And are you in that same place now? Has there been any growth? Acts of kindness. Record acts of kindness that you perform. This is not the document to show to anyone, but this is just something for you to reflect on. Acts of kindness. And that's it. Look through your notes here, and it's good to reflect on that, on the last 7 days. And let's begin to prepare ourselves as we go into the next 7 days. Again, this is 31 days to new beginning. So we're going to do this a few times. We're going to reflect at least 2 or 3 times. But it's important that you identify successes, in particular your successes, and congratulate yourself, be compassionate to yourself. And that's going to motivate you to want to go further. So I'll leave you there and go ahead and complete exercise for week 7. And I'm sorry, for day 7, and make sure you're journaling. And if you don't have these things done, let's make sure we have them done before we get into tomorrow into day 8. Thanks.